freed me from my chains. You gave me a new name, led me by the hand into the wealthy place. Freed me from my chains. You gave me a new name, led me by the hand into the wealthy place. It keeps getting better. It keeps getting better. It keeps getting better, better. It keeps getting better. It keeps getting better. It keeps getting better, better. You conquered my Egypt, Yahweh, Yahweh. Walked through my desert, Yahweh, Yahweh. You broke through my darkness, Yahweh, Yahweh. Delivered the promise, Yahweh, Yahweh. For you know the plans for me, my hope and future. You set in my destiny to a path that prospers. For you know the plans for me, my hope and future. You're setting my destiny to a path that prospers. For you know the plans for me, my hope and future. You're setting my destiny to a path that prospers. It keeps getting better. It keeps getting better. It keeps getting better, better.
Hey, welcome to Wealthy Church. I'm so excited that you are here today, where we come every single Sunday at 9 a.m. across many platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're live now also inside of Wealthy Church on Clubhouse also. Wow, we're so excited about that as we continue to expand our reach. Starting new on Clubhouse today. So excited to see Camille and a couple of others that are on. We're excited about today's message. Today's message, we're going to talk about the number one thing that stops your momentum from receiving your breakthrough in your life. The number one thing that stops momentum. See, the big Mo. Momentum. Man, when you have momentum, and momentum, that word is like, if you kind of picture it, like if you ever had like a red wagon as a kid and you pushed the wagon down the hill and that wagon just, continued to gain speed as it went down the hill. That's momentum. When you have momentum, right, you can crash through obstacles. You feel like you're in a flow, and it seems like everything's going really great for you. And listen, when you have momentum, you look better than what you really are. But when you don't have momentum, do you remember times when you didn't have momentum in your life? Where it wasn't like, one thing after another was going right for you? Do you remember a season when you didn't have momentum? When it seems like all these negative things keep happening in my life, and it feels like, not that I'm going downhill, it feels like everything is this great big uphill climb, and it seems overwhelming. Today we're going to talk about what stops you, the number one thing that I found that stops that momentum. See, I believe God wants to keep us in a flow of success, not in a flow of one failure after another, not in a flow of one setback after another, not in a flow of one crisis after another. Although we know we will not get the outcomes we want all the time in life, that happens. We also know we will face crisis as we journey in our life. We know that that's just the facts. That's the way life is. But what I am saying is, it shouldn't be a constant. It shouldn't be we're moving from crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis. It should be crisis. We move into a process. We embrace the change that crisis invites us to. And then we move out of that process and we step into greatness, right? It should be we don't get the outcomes that we want in life. And so we look at that as something that, okay, I didn't get the outcome. What can I learn from this? What can I grab onto that can help me succeed the next time? But here's one of the things that I really want to encourage you with today is this thing called discouragement. What stops momentum, what stops the flow quicker than anything is discouragement. And I found this story, and I thought it was really great for this talk today, because I've been discouraged before. I mean, I'm not talking about like just discouraged. I mean, so discouraged I want to quit. Have you been there? Oh yeah. Have you been at the place where you said, man, I have had enough? And that low, right? I've been that low. I mean, I've been low enough that I had thoughts of, man, I wish I was just dead. Seriously, I've been that low. I'll never forget it. It was March 2022. I was that low. Everything fell apart. Nothing was working. broke, in debt, discouraged, almost to the point where I was willing to give up on my dream. And it was at that point that I made a shift. Discouragement is one of the biggest things that stops you. And that's where I was in my life. So I know I've been at those low points in my life. And I just felt like that there's many of you that are out there that you're in this point where you've done everything that you feel like you can do, and it's like you're not getting the changes. You're not seeing results. And you're discouraged. And I hope today this will help you because it's important for you to move out of that mental cage of discouragement. And it's time for you to move into a new season of your life in 2023. Now is the best time ever to shift gears out of that. But I found a story about a man of God who went through the same thing, went through serious times of discouragement. I mean, this guy, his name's Elijah. And when you study like the story of Elijah, I mean, he comes on the heels of this amazing success where he confronts the prophets of Baal. And man, he calls fire down from heaven, and man, he comes out of this huge mammoth victory. And then in 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 1, then it says, and Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, also how he had executed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, so let the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of the ones of them by tomorrow about this time. So what happens? Jezebel attacks him. Jezebel says, you're going to be just like all these other prophets. You killed all these other prophets. You're going to be in the same situation. She attacked him. And when he saw that, he arose and he ran for his life. So here he is. He just experiences amazing success. And then on the heels of that, he gets scared, loses his confidence, and he's running for his life. Isn't that amazing how quickly the human psyche can shift? 1 minute you're in victory, the next minute you're scared and you're running. Wow. 1 minute you're calling fire from heaven, and the next minute you're running from a crazy woman who's shooting threats at you. Well, anytime someone says they're going to kill you, I don't know if you've ever had someone threaten you like that before. I have. I've had someone who threatened to kill me. I'm serious. I was a pastor, and this person was threatening to kill me. Said they were going to walk in church and that they were going to shoot me in the pulpit. Yeah. And I'm telling you, when you get a threat like that, it messes with you. And it was on a Saturday night, and I had to go preach on Sunday morning. And man, I'm telling you, I was praying all night. I was concerned. I was worried. But in the middle of the night, God just gave me an assurance. Says, hey, Keith, everything's going to be okay. If anybody messes with you, they're messing with me. And I went in, no fear, and I preached. And is an interesting story. I don't want to go into all that, but I want you to see where he was, right? He goes from up on top to down on the bottom because now he's running. He ran for his life, and he went to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servant there. If you're found along in the Bible, I want you to underline that. He left his servant there. He's running for his life, and he left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a broom tree, and he prayed that he might die. And he said, "It is enough now. Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers." Wow. Then as he lay and he slept under the broom tree, suddenly an angel touched him and said to him, "Arise and eat." Man, we've been in this series. I've been talking about it over and over and over again about elevate. God wants to elevate you. See, as soon as the voice of the Lord comes to you, He didn't say, "Oh, you're discouraged, you're down, you want to kill yourself." You're at the point where you've had enough. The angel does what? Says, "Hey, get up. Get up." I love that. The first thing the angel did, he said, "Arise, eat, because the journey is too great for you." So he arose, he ate and drank, and he went in the strength of that food for 40 days and 40 nights as far as Horeb, to the mountain of God. Wow. I'm going to break this story down for you here today because I think it's so important. Because here's a guy who experienced great victory, yet he also experienced the emotion of great discouragement. And discouragement is the number one thing that stops you from maintaining positive momentum. And when you got momentum going on in your life, man, it feels great. You're getting breakthroughs. Things are happening. And you gotta watch out for discouragement because negative things will happen. But you cannot allow discouragement to delay you. And here's what happens. It happened to this guy. When you get discouraged, here's what you do. You check out. Right? That's what happened to Elijah. He got attacked, and he's like, in his mind, "Oh, wow, I'm discouraged. Now I'm going to go check out. Hey, servant, you stay here. I'm going to go as far away as I can get. I'm going to go hide. I'm going to go check out. I'm going to abandon my post." And here's my encouragement to you. Discouragement causes you to delay your progress to achieving what God wants you to achieve. See, many times psychologically when we get delayed, we do what? We say, "Oh man, I'm feeling discouraged." So I grab my phone and I start searching the internet. I start looking on social media. I go play a video game. I go watch a TV. And I got something to do. There's an assignment that God has for me. I'm building this business. I'm building this ministry. I'm working on my career. I get discouraged. And what do? I check out. Don't lose hours. Don't lose days. Don't lose weeks. Don't lose months. Don't lose years. Don't lose possibly a decade of your life because you got discouraged. Here's the nugget. part of getting your momentum back is increasing your ability to decrease the frequency in which discouragement kills your next hour, your next day, your next week, your next year. I hope you get that. You've got to build a skill set that enables you that when discouragement happens, that you're able to pivot out of that discouragement as fast as possible. Because you can lose a day, you can lose a month, you can lose a whole year due to discouragement. What happened to Elijah? He got discouraged and he lost a whole day. He ran a whole day. That's day number 1. Boop. That day's gone, wasted. And that's what I found in my life was my cycle. That as I go through life, it's easy for the knee-jerk response when things don't turn out as planned and I get discouraged. I tend to check out. But then I started to train myself to acknowledge discouragement and begin to be able to pivot out of it really fast. It's something that you've got to be aware of. Awareness is the beginning of transformation. You got to be aware of discouragement hitting you. Oh, discouragement just hit me. Now my pattern of behavior is to escape. Just like Elijah. It's something about the human psyche. We tend to do this. And if I check out, I'm not going to be as productive as I possibly could be. I've got to stay inside of the battle. I got to stay in the mentality of productivity. I've got to learn to take the arrows of discouragement and shake them off fast and get rid of them fast and get back into the game. One of the key ways that I learned how to do that was that I start thinking, wait a minute. If I didn't have a big dream, if I wasn't a winner, I wouldn't be discouraged. If you're not aiming for nothing, if you don't have a daily to-do list, you don't get discouraged. If you don't have big dreams, you don't get discouraged. Why? Because you're in a state of whatever happens to me just happens to me. And I guess this is just the will of God that this happened to me. And so you never experience these deep levels of discouragement as you press forward to manifest your dreams, to achieve your God-given destiny. You never experience deep levels of discouragement because you're in a, oh, well, whatever happens mentality. And so I learned to tell myself. I'm like, all right, Keith, I'm discouraged because I'm a winner. See how I can move out of that? Yeah, that wasn't nice what that guy said to me, what that person said to me. But I'm not going to let a negative post on social media or some negative text by some loser ruin my entire day, cause me to check out, give up, and throw in the towel. As a matter of fact, I've learned that, you know what? I've learned that I'm going to let my haters give me fuel. I'm going to let my haters, you got it, I'm going to let my haters give me fuel. The fact that I have haters is proof that I am the contrarian that God wants me to be. The fact that I have haters is proof really to me that I'm on God's message of what He's trying to say to people in the earth. And yeah, they're gonna throw their threats. They're gonna throw their javelins. They're gonna have their opinions. I got an opinion about what I think. It's just part of it. There's a lot of coaches and speakers and trainers. It's like you're holding back from what you really believe deep down in your soul because you're worried about what other people are going to think. And first of all, not that many people are thinking about you. Second of all, if you stay neutral and your message is just neutral and it's bland and you're not saying anything that's contrarian, nobody's going to hear it anyway. Oh, my. So you see, my friend, you got to be aware of discouragement, and psychologically you got to be able to handle it, and you got to be able to pivot out of it fast, quick. The quicker you can do it, the more productive you'll be able to be. I've had these things happen, and I think it's really one of my number one skills. I mean, I get hit with a heart attack. Doctor says, open heart surgery, quintuple bypass. Whoa. The most dangerous surgery that you could ever go through. Okay. They wheel me out of the room. I'm crying. I have my moment. From the time they wheeled me out, 15 minutes later, I'm on the phone with another leader who encourages me. This is a nugget. Who encourages me. How do we get out of discouragement fast? Sometimes you need a friend. You need an angel. Just like Elijah needed an angel. The angel came with what? A message of encouragement. Rise up. Eat. Drink. This is not the end. You got a journey ahead of you. Isn't that a cool thing? Your destiny's not over. Let's go. An angel of encouragement. So there I was in the bed, an angel of encouragement, because I had friends around me who are encouragers, who are big thinkers, who are super achievers, who wouldn't let me quit. Half hour later, I felt strength. I went from pitying myself to power. And I said, I'm going to get through this. I saw myself on the other side of it. I saw myself stronger. I saw myself wiser. I saw myself more blessed. And I went through what I had to go through. And I can honestly say, I never doubted one moment or 1 minute from that moment forward. I got discouragement out of the way. 2020 comes. COVID. My schedule's full. Lockdowns. Nobody go anywhere. All my bookings for speaking fell down like dominoes. I walk into my garage. Everything of 25 years of ministry. My team goes AOL on me. 25 years of ministry gets put into my garage. And I'm standing there and tears are coming down my face. It's all in disarray. And I'm like, is this how this ends? And I cried. But in that moment, I pivoted. I said, no, this is not how this ends. This is discouragement. And I'm going to trample on snakes and scorpions. He gave me power to trample on the spirit of discouragement. And I'm going to trample on this spirit, and I'm going to go forward, and I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way to make things happen. And the pivot was one of the greatest pivots I ever made. The start of Wealthy Church. Well, I can't go to church. I can't do nothing. Let's just have church on Sunday. I might as well have church with myself. Hey, at least I like the messages. I ain't arguing with it. I ain't sitting there thinking, oh man, that's so far off base. Well, you might think it is, but hey, I go to my own church. I don't think it is. I'm in agreement with the pastor here. So here, listen. Discouragement causes you to stop showing up every day. Discouragement causes you to lay in bed longer than what you should. Discouragement causes you to get a broken focus on what doesn't even matter. It causes you to escape in caves of coping mechanisms like alcohol, drugs. It causes you to get caught up with video games and television and scrolling the internet. All of these kind of things. That's what happens. And you quit showing up every hour, every moment of the day to be a productive person, to be that role model, to be that leader that people need to see in the earth. We have enough people being discouraged. We need to see some people who have some courage, who take the hits but keep moving forward, who take the criticism but keep moving forward, who take the lies and trample on them. We need people who show forth massive action in the face of negativity. Your kids need a model. Your family needs a model. This world needs a model of courage. You got to get the diss out. We got to get your courage back. And first things you need to do is you need to get around some people who are encouragers. Hey, hang out with me. Use the discouragement as a fuel to say, wait a minute, I'm a 5%er. I'm a 5%er. I've got a dream. Most people don't have dreams. They're just existing. But I have a dream and I'm discouraged because I don't see it yet. That means I'm a person of greatness. And shift your mentality out of the flow of negativity and out of something. Say, hey, I wouldn't have this feeling if I wasn't somebody, if I wasn't a big dreamer. I got to get busy. I'm going to get back in the game. I'm going to get back into the battlefield. I could be on the sidelines. Get around people who encourage you. Look at the mistake Elijah made. Did you notice it? It says he left his servant. You stay here. And he went a day's journey. The guy that could have encouraged him, he left behind. And then God had to send an angel because there was nobody else. Don't try to do this alone. Get connected with someone who is an encourager, who does believe for big things. Who you're listening to is so very important in this time that we're living in. Get some encouraging friends. And that's why you got to look at your friends, evaluate your friends. People who are broke, people who are struggling in the middle class, they're all focused on themselves. By the way, you want to get some wealthy friends around you. They're all focused on themselves. They're all having their own pity party. They don't ask you how you're doing. They don't care. They're so consumed with their own problems, with their own issues. Bonnie and I see it all the time. Bonnie goes around and she encourages everybody. She'll tell people, she goes to Walmart. She has the Walmart ministry. She goes to Walmart. She finds people over in Walmart, run around on those Amigos, and maybe they're are overweight, and she'll tell them, she'll say, "Oh, you have a pretty dress on." When we're around people, we find things to compliment people on. When you get around people who are poor and middle class, they don't say nothing to anybody. They don't compliment you on anything. And that's how you know, like, your true friends and just acquaintances is, number one, when you share bad news with them. When you share bad news with them, will they just listen to you without putting you down, without saying, "Oh, I've gone through the same thing you've gone through"? That's not the person you really want to have an in-depth relationship with. Or the other one is when you share good news with people. You share good news. Man, look at this, man, I got a new car, man, I got this, I got that. And they jump in and they celebrate. They say, "Man, that is like so bomb. That is so cool. I am so happy for you." Not like, "Well, yeah, that's good." See, you can tell. I'm talking about someone celebrating. I'm still talking about someone who not like, because you can like half-hearted something, but you're not really celebrating. You're not really looking at the achievement of your friend and saying, "Man, good job, man. Keep going, man. Come on, man. I mean, that's a great car. I can't wait to see the next one that you get." Are you with me? That's a real friend right there. Third thing I want to just tell you, to get your strength back. Get your strength back. How do I do that? Number one, I got to pull myself away. I got to pull myself away. When fatigue walks in, faith walks out. Some of you have just been giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, but you haven't been taking in. You haven't refueled yourself for the future. That's why I'm doing the Fast Win Weekend, November 11th and the 12th, here at my house. I'm bringing in a small group of people, and we're going to refuel. We're going to refocus. We're going to regain our momentum back. That's the title of our time together. We're going to refuel, get you fueled back up. Then we're going to refocus you. You're going to leave here with a detailed plan on what you need to do in the next 90 days, what you need to do by halfway into the year, where you need to be at the 3/4 mark. And we're going to map out your next year to 5 years. You got to get away. You got to get out of all that. You got to get in a wealthy environment. You got to get in an encouraging environment. And that's why we're doing this. If you look down below, you'll find a link to click. We have 2 spots. We're already sold out, but I opened it up to a few more people. We have 2 spots left. And so if you like, just say, "Hey man, I need to get away. I need to refuel. I need to refocus myself. I need to really know what to do next. I've got to get clarity on what to do next. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm in discouragement." Man, you got to get around some angels. I'm not saying I'm an angel. Just say you got to get around some angels who will feed you. Who will feed you what? Encouragement, to get your strength back. Because the journey is long. God's got a lot in store for you. Your life's not over, it's just started. And if you feel like you need that, go check it out. It's called Fast Win Weekend. 2 days with me right here in Florida, especially if you're up north, get out of that cold. Come on down, hang out with 2 days with me right here at the Johnson Fort. Small group of people. It's a coaching experience, and it's going to be transformational for your life. Don't live in burnout. Even lions need to take time to rest. so they can fast attack. They sleep a lot of hours during the day to store up energy because they need momentum. So when it's time, they can move with lightning speed and attack to get what they want. Hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been so exciting. And we're going to continue the discussion over on Wealthy Church over on Clubhouse. I'm glad you're here. Listen, don't forget, so many of you support us and get behind us. And I just want to ask you to get your seed in the soil this year for next year. What you sow this year is going into your future for next year. And all you got to do is go to wealthychurch.com. Wealthychurch.com. You'll see all the different ministries that we're doing, that we're sowing into. And you can be a part of this. I mean, I don't know what better seed to put in the soil than a church that calls themselves Wealthy Church. What you sow in, you end up reaping back. So go to wealthychurch.com and so get behind what we're doing here. It means so much. We're believing for 300 people to support us on a regular basis. Go to wealthychurch.com and sow your seed, one-time gift, or you can sow a monthly gift of $20 or more to support what we're doing here. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you. Wow, next time it's going to be Christmas. It's going to be Christmas. Isn't that going to be cool, man? We get to celebrate Christmas together right here on all these channels. I'll be here at 9 a.m. in the morning on Christmas. I'll have my Santa Claus hat on. We're going to have fun on Christmas Day. I hope you can join us Christmas Day at 9 a.m., okay? God bless everybody. Bye-bye now.